So Jamie Dimon, the CEO of J.P. Morgan Chase, the guy who was was strutting like a peacock because his bank, even though they got a hefty amount of bailout money in the form of zero cost loans, was not heavily exposed in the financial crisis. And he has been one of the strongest advocates for a weak Volcker rule, if there's going to be any Volcker rule. And you remember, we were talking about this with Alexis Goldstein from Occupy the SEC the other day. And she was part of writing a 300-some-odd page comment letter on the Volcker rule as regulators are beginning to essentially take the overall umbrella of the Volcker rule, which basically says you cannot engage in proprietary trading with money that is federally insured. In other words, you cannot trade on behalf of yourself. We can trade our clients' monies. That's fine. That's what they ask us to do. But you cannot trade your own money that's in your institution because, in fact, that's your depositor's money. Because investment banks and banks now are co-joined since the fall of Glass-Steagall. And you cannot use federally insured money to make these type of trades. And of course, this money they don't mark each bill that comes in like this is federally insured money. We're just going to keep that pile over there. And so the SEC is trying to drill down and actually make the rules that will manifest the Volcker rule. And, of course, Jamie Dimon and his lieutenants have been all over Washington trying to make sure that that thing looks like Swiss cheese. And so they're not subject to any of these rules now. But so he does Jamie Dimon, and we're going to talk more about this with Taibbi tomorrow, so I'm not going to do too much of this. But so Jamie Dimon tapes an interview with David Gregory on Wednesday for Meet the Press. Surely Jamie Dimon knew about the losses. Supposedly, according to disclosure rules, he couldn't tell anybody. And but he could have canceled the interview, right? But no, he goes in an interview probably hoping like maybe there's a way we can get around ever disclosing this. He tapes an interview. Now, how fun would it have been for Meet the Press to tape an interview on Wednesday and actually run it to show just sort of the BS that Jamie Dimon is shoveling out? But no, you're not going to do that because you're going to lose access to a whole raft of CEOs and the important people. So have him back on after he announces his massive loss. So they can have a redo, a mulligan. That's what you do, folks. You give them a mulligan because that's what gentlemen do for each other. Unbelievable. J.P. Morgan announces a raft of firings. You got to feel bad for these guys and gals. Ina Drew. She is a banker who has worked for J.P. Morgan for 3 decades. And she has resigned in the wake of this. You got to feel bad for her. She was, she made almost $16 million last year. And so, to go from $16 million down to zero money, except for I'm sure she got a huge buyout. That's going to be tough. You're going to have to cut back on one of the fur sinks that you're going to put into your $50 million home in the Hamptons. That's going to really cut into it. A bunch of other, like 3 or 4, I think Achilles Marcris, who was the big whale trader in London, and trader Javier Martin Artajo will also resign. But what this shows, obviously, is that we need regulation on these big banks. They cannot be trusted to manage their own risk. Because when they're this big, we, of course, as a government, implicitly backstop them because we're afraid of what their failure will do to the rest of the economy. And we'll talk more with Taibbi about this tomorrow, because there's some question as to whether or not it was a hedge, which would mean that it was subject to some rules but not others under the Dodd-Frank and Volcker regulations, none of which, of course, have gone into effect. So we're talking hypothetically either way. But one of the problems with this is that when you start to have these small bore rules, as opposed to Glass-Steagall, which would have just put up a firewall, invariably these bankers are going to chip away at it or plug massive holes in it. And so you've got Jamie Dimon. Let's listen to Jamie Dimon in I think it's the second, he got a couple, like I say, this is his Mulligan interview on Meet the Press from Sunday. The Mulligan one, not the first one. Here it is.
The immediate question, the SEC is looking into this. Did the bank break any laws? Did it violate any accounting rules or SEC rules?
So we've had audit, legal, risk, compliance, some of our best people looking at all of that. We know we were sloppy. We know we were stupid. We know there was bad judgment. We don't know if any of that's true yet. Now, of course, regulators should look at something like this. That's their job. So, we are totally open kimono with regulators, and they will come to their own conclusions. But we intend to fix it, learn from it, and be a better company when it's done.
Hey, it sounds like he's been reading Colin Powell's leadership rules. We're going to learn from our mistakes, own up to them, realize that it could have happened to anybody, and just move on. So we have another opportunity to do it. And of course, the idea that we may have broken some laws, that's what he's hoping for. He's hoping for the idea that we broke some laws. People will find out that we broke some laws. We'll pay a small fine. We will fire those people involved. And we certainly don't need any further regulation because the regulation covered it. We just didn't follow it. So we were sloppy. We made a mistake. People are human.